Ngayon bigla mong ipinagmamalaki ang due process at human rights na para bang matagal mo nang ipinaglalaban. Pero huwag nating baguhin ang kasaysayan. Ikaw ang isa sa pinakaunang sumira sa pangalan ko. Ikaw ang nagbansag sa akin bilang Lord na walang ebidensya. You stood by Duterte, not as a critic behind closed doors, but as his enabler, his spokesperson, his attack dog. At ngayong nanganganib na si Duterte, gusto mong lumambot? Walang kumukontra sa ideya na ng ligtas na kalsada. Libo-libo ang patay, mga mahihirap, may mga bata pa, mga nadamay lang sa maling lugar at maling oras. Pero malinaw ang katotohanan. Ikaw ang isa sa mga nanguna sa pagtatanggol sa isang nabigong war dogs na wala namang iniwan kundi takot, dugo at kawalan ng hustisya.
With another Facebook Live because finally nakausap ko po ang former Executive Secretary si Bingbong Migueldia. Alam niyo naman po, sinamahan niya si President Duterte, no? So kanina po we were talking about due process, we were talking about human rights, we were talking about not allowing anyone to be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Yun po yung nasa konstitusyon natin at sa pagkaalam ko po, nasa konstitusyon din po ng napakaraming bansa yon. And when you talk about the ICC, it was basically formed so that meron international standard at accountability sa human rights. So let me be very clear po ha. Yung pag-uusapan ko po dito ay walang politika, basic human rights po ito. Okay? I will repeat myself. What I'm going to tell you tonight and the appeal that I'm going to make does not have to do with any partisanship, doesn't have to do with any politics, any partisan politics, any side. Basic lang po to na human rights. So sabi po ni former Executive Secretary Bingbong Migueldia, nasa eroplano sila at bago pa sila makarating nga sa Netherlands ay ginaranti sa kanila ng ICC na dadalhin diretso sa ospital si former President Duterte. Even yung medical po na kasama nila, ang exact words po na sinabi ni Kuya Bing, he's not in good condition. I won't interpret na, I'm just relaying the message. Ang sabi niya, he's not in good condition, at dinagdag po ni former Executive Secretary Migueldia ay nag-shoot up yung kanyang sugar. So, in my effort to clarify, tinanong ko, Kuya Bing, sabi ko sa kanya, doon pa lang po sa Manila, gusto niya na po magpa-ospital, di ba? So sabi niya, yes, sa Manila pa lang, we wanted na ma-hospitalize siya, but of course nga, alam na naman natin na nangyari lahat. At sabi ko nga, hindi ko to ipo-politicize, hindi ko to idadagdagan. I clarify ko lang sa kanya na sa Manila pa lang, they were saying that kailangan po siya ma-hospitalize. Okay? So having said that, he was on a plane. It's a long haul, napakatagal, ilan oras yon. So now he is there sa Hague. Ang pangako daw ay dadalhin sa ospital, hindi daw dinala sa ospital. So dun sa facility kung saan siya naka-detain, pumunta daw sila E.S. Migueldia at ang sinabi, wala daw Rodrigo Duterte na naka-register doon. So eto yung appeal ko. First and foremost, I know our embassy is already doing something, but do everything to make sure na yung basic human right of health, di ba yung health, kailangan po yung health niya ay masigurado natin. Kung sino man po yon, kung ano man politika natin, hindi po dapat natin pabayaan yung health ng isang tao. Number 2, ang ating present Secretary of Foreign Affairs, yan po ay isang professional, kilala yan around the world. He is a career diplomat. He was secretary twice, acting secretary twice during Duterte's time. extended. Yan po ay binigyan din ng break ni President Duterte, pero yan din po ay pinagkakatiwalaan ngayon ni President Marcos. So I think he will be the right person to go to The Hague, make sure that there's due process, make sure na susunod yung batas, but make the representations now na makakuha ng medical services ang ating dating Pangulo. Okay? So, I will not add or subtract sa sinabi sa akin. This is my first time to talk to ESBing, I think baka in a year or so, no? Hindi kami nagkakausap, but nagkaroon kami ng common friend na nandun, so tumawag ako to ask what we can do, at yun ang sabi niya, na immediately, please help that the former president will get medical attention, no? So I don't think may mawawala sa lahat sa atin, kayo man ay humahanga o kayo po ay hindi humahanga kay President Duterte, to make sure that when a Filipino citizen ay kinuha sa ibang bansa na hindi nagkaroon ng chance na yung korte dito ang mag-issue ng warrant, ay to make sure that he's not deprived of life, of good health, di ba? So I know some of you are thinking, what if hindi? Pero may mawawala ba na i-check up siya? Sabi nga daw sa kanya, sorry, so ito lang yung part na na-miss out ko, at sabi ko nga hindi ko dadagdagan o babawasan. Ang sabi daw ni President Duterte kay ESBing, hindi naman ako tatakas, haharapin ko to. So, you know, he's in a foreign country, lahat ng resources nandun sa ICC, hindi siya naman basta't makakatakas o makakaalis, at haharapin naman niya to. So, you know, pakiusap ko lang po na basic naman na yung karapatan niya sa kalusugan ay respetuhin natin. So, baka pwede rin makiusap sa media. Alam ko may either stringers kayo or reporters din doon. I-verify nyo. Kasi yan po naman ay pinaabot lang naman po sa akin, at nag-volunteer lang ako na sabihin yung mensahe. Bakit po? Hindi po ako makikialam if these are political messages or partisan messages, but pag sa health, magsisisi pa ba tayo pagka hindi natin sinabi to? So some of you will agree with me, will disagree with me, depending on your political persuasion, but if you were in that situation, I would not hesitate to ask people for help for your safety and for your health. So yun lang naman po, and hinihingi ko sa ating media, sana nga po mabantayan, just to make sure po na yung pinaka-basic at yung kanyang kalusugan, at katulad ng sinabi ng dating Pangulo, haharapin niya po yung mga kaso na ito. And then our embassy, kung yung 10 million Filipinos to 15 million peoples around the world at yung mga na-convict na nga ay tinutulungan pa natin, ano pa kaya yung presumed innocent who sacrificed for our country? So please po, don't allow po na may mangyari sa ating Pangulo dahil sa kapababayaan natin. And to ICC, no, I want to address myself to you. Your core value is the is the human rights. So if someone needs medical attention, can we not give that person medical attention? I know the human rights advocates and some extremists among that group is eyes on you, but isn't a medical checkup and making sure that he's okay basic human rights, di ba? So kung yan ang core values nyo sa ICC, I think you should show the world that how you will treat detainees humanely, and having a checkup when they arrive, and giving them the proper attention is basic. So again, I'll just summarize, no? I talked to Executive Secretary Miguel Dia. Sabi niya, pinangakuan sila, they were promised that as soon as they get to the Netherlands, they will be brought to a hospital. This did not happen. He is not in touch right now with President Duterte. He went to the ICC facility, and they said that there is no registry under the name of Rodrigo Duterte. I know for a fact na tumutulong yung embassy, but I think kailangan ng backup ito from the DFA. And I think we should ensure that every Filipino who's detained abroad will have tamang representation, and yung kanilang kalusugan ay pinakabig. I have a few minutes and gathered my thoughts. I just want to share some insights. The case of former President Rodrigo Duterte, and I want to emphasize the importance of being heard. So if you give me a few minutes, and thank you very much for allowing me to express my views, let me just start by saying ang tama ay tama at mali ay mali. For the last 2.5 years, nakita nyo naman po, I lived up to being independent. Pag tama ginagawa ng gobyerno, I not only agree but support. Pag mali, I try to do my best na iparating that we can do it better. So constructive criticism is always good. So this is not about partisanship. This is not about supporting the former president. This is about kung ano ay tama at anong mali. Especially in this case na yung presidency, yung anong mangyayari in the future with cases regarding this, no? Just to give you a quick example, di ba? Alam nyo po, anyone can file a case or ask that the ICC investigate. So, i-research po natin, ilan ba namatay dun sa Marawi? There were innocent people who, because it was basically a war, di ba? So, what if one of the, let's say, terrorist group, no, na hindi na nakabase sa Pilipinas, gusto lang manggulo, at sinabi sa ICC, imbestigahan nyo, during that time, we were still under the ICC, biglang naglabas ng 50 sergeants, 20 lieutenants, 12 generals, the secretary of ganito, secretary of ganyan, at sinabing, just like kay President Duterte, na there were 20 people who were innocent, etc., etc., and then command responsibility. No? Wala akong problema yung yung tao mismo ang pumatay doon. Open yung courts natin to do that. And even in war, pwede mong kasuhan ng talagang murder kung hindi combatants, di ba? So can you imagine if they issue a warrant, tapos bigla na lang you don't have a remedy of going to court, biglang 20 generals and 20 lieutenants, 50 colonels ay ilang sekretary ng gobyerno biglang dadalhin doon. That's a possibility. That's precisely why the United States did not sign the treaty and did not join ICC, because I don't know now, but at many times there are ongoing wars sa US. At any time may endanger ang kanilang armed forces kapag pumirma sila dyan sa ICC. So just to show you na delikado yung doktrina natin, na pag meron silang warrant ay pwede ka na lang dumiretso, kunin at isakay sa eroplano, di ba? So to repeat, if you saw the case of Congressman Mark Jimenez, congressman pa ho yun, may warrant from the US. US is our closest allies. We have such a long history, shared values, pero pumunta muna sa korte natin para i-authenticate, i-validate yung warrant, umabot pa hanggang Supreme Court, no? So, the first thing I want to point out is yung sinasabi po ni General Torre ng ang tagal, binigyan ng ilan oras. Hindi po sapat ang 5 oras para gawin ng isang pleading, more so para magdesisyon ang Supreme Court, di ba? So, when we say that he was denied due process, and in particular, ang sinasabi ko po, na-deny nung legal remedies, wala nang magawa, nasa airplano na. And what proves my point is yung mga galit kay Duterte na nagsasabing human rights pero revenge lang ang gusto, sinasabi, kita nyo, moot and academic na. So alam nyo naman pala magiging moot and academic. Yung mga kilala kong human rights activists nung 80s at 70s, yung mga nababasa ko sa Europe, sa US, kahit anong bigat, kahit anong baho ng kriminal, ipaglalaban nila yung karapatan niya. Hindi po argument yung nababasa ko ngayon na bakit si Duterte, binigyan ba niya ng due process yung mga napatay? He's accused of that. He's not yet guilty. May mahabang explanation on the campaign against drugs and about yung twini-twist nila na lahat daw ng addict pinapatay. 3 to 7 million yung addict sa Pilipinas, di ba? So, I won't go into that, but I want to mention this. Kita nyo, ibang-iba yung proseso. Sa proseso sa Pilipinas, may complainant ka, pagtingin ng piskal na meron krimen at pagtingin ng piskal na ikaw yon, pasasagutin ka muna. May sagutan kayo, magharap kayo ng piskal, and only when the fiscal finds probable cause, dadalin pa sa korte. And then the court has to say na he agrees with the fiscal, tapos meron kang warrant. So yung mga sinasabi ng human rights sa atin na mas patas sa ICC, bakit po hindi dito final yung case? So halimbawa po yung first part na binasa kay President Duterte, di ba? Yung nung mayor pa siya. Baka po nakakalimutan natin, si dating Senator Leila de Lima, siya po ang chairman ng Commission on Human Rights. Mahigit 1 taon niya po inimbestigahan si Mayor Duterte noon. Wala po siyang final na kaso. 6 na taon po siyang Secretary ng Justice. Mayor lang po si Mayor Duterte noon. Siya po ay Secretary ng Justice. Napakalakas po ng kanilang administrasyon noon. Napaka-powerful po ni Secretary de Lima noon. Pero hindi po niya nakasuhan si President Duterte. So sabi niya, well, yung witnesses lumabas lang nung presidente na siya. I-review niyo ho sa Senate hearing. Hindi po siya naging patas. This was the same playbook that was applied nung kay President Erap to President GMA, tapos nung tinatanggal si President GMA. Ang intention nun nila Secretary de Lima, mawala si President Duterte para umupo si Vice President Leni. Kaya nga sabi ko, that really wasn't a human rights agenda, it was a political agenda. Kauupo lang ni Presidente noon kung ano-ano ng investigasyon, and then she wasn't a neutral chairperson. That's why nga siya natanggal at napunta kay Senator Dick Gordon. No? My point is, sabi nila kasi lahat na mas patas sa ICC. Sa ICC nga, na-aresto na siya, sinakay na siya plano nandun, saka lang siya sasabihin kung ano yung kasalanan, ano witness. He did not have a chance to confront his witnesses, the witnesses against him. He does not know when he got there kung ano ang kaso, ano yung mga evidence. So ang layo dito sa Pilipinas at saka doon. Number 2, sa atin, at any stage you can question jurisdiction. Kasi yun ang pinaka-importante. Another is fairness. Kung gusto mong questionin kung meron kang gustong ipahinhibit, pwede mong gawin anytime. So for example, for me napansin ko na to, pero tahimik lang ako, pero tinext ako nung classmate ko na may master sa human rights at ito'y babae. Sabi niya, sir, napansin mo ba na panay babae, parang may gender imbalance? In the same manner na pag panay lalaki, may gender imbalance. So tandaan niyo po no, na hindi maganda reputation ni President Duterte, especially when he talks about women at many times. And I agree with many of that. Senator Pia, Ate Pia pointed out and have talked to him personally many times na, Mayor, when you talk about women, ganito kasi interpretasyon, hindi na 80s ngayon, hindi na 70s, di ba? So, admitted tayo may ganon, di ba? So, alam mo tong mga judges ng ICC, nagbabasa din ng news yan, nakita din, may opportunity ba si E.S. Miguel Dia? 1 hour lang po siya nakita si President Duterte bago siya pinaharap. Hindi pa na-accredit yung ibang lawyers niya, kaya nga nagpapapostpone ng 1 week. Tapos sabi September na ulit. Ang layo po sa justice system natin. Medyo nahiya po ako sa press conference ni Vice President Leni at saka ni Senator De Lima kanina na kino-compare yung detention niya at yung detention ni Senator De Lima. Unang-una, dumaan si Senator De Lima sa piskalya, dumaan sa korte, at actually special na yung nasa krami siya. Kahit sino po ma-detain, ayaw ng ganun conditions, pero dito siya sa Pilipinas, nabibisita siya. Ito po, nasa ibang bansa. At ano po ang purpose na i-compare mo? Hindi po yung point. So if you think na may injustice kay Senator De Lima, so okay lang magka-injustice kay President Duterte kasi kalaban natin. Sa akin medyo bad taste 'yon, 'di ba? So yes, you'll tell me the same thing na umimik ka ba kay Senator De Lima? Hindi ko po alam ebidensya noon eh. Pinapanood ko lang and sumunod sa buong proseso dito sa bansa. In fact, na-acquit siya. So 3 years na wala sa kapangyarihan si President Duterte, ba't hindi kinasuhan here? So I'll stop there with my comments, but there's a purpose why nag-Facebook Live ako ngayon. I want to reach out especially sa OFWs natin, sa mga nagpre-pray, whether supporter kayo o hindi ni President Duterte, but you're concerned both about his health, you're concerned about our sovereignty, yung itsura ng Pilipinas na nandun yung hearing sa ibang bansa, kung ano itsura ng Pilipino ngayon sa nangyayari, your voice matters. Europe, the US, Netherlands, they're bastions of human rights. Nakabantay yan. So the more we show them na better ang human rights sa Pilipinas, better yung case natin na mali na sinakay na lang sa eroplano at dinala doon, mali na walang court sa atin ang nag-verify or nag-authenticate ng order. When he got there, his companions did not know where he is. His relatives did not see him right away, yung access sa kanya. So all of this matters. So dun sa nagsasabi ng pabayaan nyo, let's let it play out, trap po yun. Gusto nila yon kasi nga parang feeling nila sigurado na siyang convicted doon. At kung hindi man convicted, baka ilang taon siya umabot doon, 80 na siya. So yung speedy trial, binanggit pa ho ng judge. SPD ba, humingi ka lang ng 1 week para nga yung main issues ma-bring up katulad ng jurisdiction at katulad po nung kung legal ba yung pag-aresto sa kanya. Sa atin lang pinag-aawayan ng mga experts kung kidnapping o hindi at kung jurisdictional yun o hindi. 1 week ang hiningi tapos hindi binigay tapos September na daw. So it's so hard for a lawyer who's not a practitioner dun sa ICC. But grabe, I think E.S. Miguel Diaz did a good job, but I think, it should be emphasized na he was thrown in the lion's den. It is a lion's den, di ba? So like Daniel, we have to pray na hindi makain ng leon ang mga nandun, and we have to stand up, we have to have our voice heard. So whether sa Facebook, whether on the streets, candlelight, sa profile natin, mga kababayan natin na nasa Middle East, nasa Europe, nasa US, make your voice heard because it matters. Public opinion in the Philippines matters, but right now, mas importante yung public opinion around the world, no? So tama po ang sinabi ni President Duterte, relax. Pero hindi ibig sabihin we do nothing, di ba? Ang ibig sabihin ng relax, discern, pray, at wisdom sa ating gagawin. So I agree naman ako dun sa mga nagsasabing wag mag-bash, wag magmurahan, wag but with passion and compassion, let us express our views and show the real human rights activists who are watching in Europe, in Netherlands, in the US, in the Middle East, that this is such a big injustice, not to him, but to the Filipino people.